TitleMatchNetwork.com.
How did the idea come about for you to support Lance Storm?
I never heard anything about it.
Because you did come out a couple times. You sat in the audience, I think, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have any problem with it.
Right.
I would love to have done something with Lance Storm. I was trying to, anything that WCW asked me to do, I was trying to do. I tried to comply with them. The only thing they kept asking me all the time was, okay, can you work? I'm going, I can't. How long will you know? And with a concussion, you don't know. Like, you have to keep getting evaluated all the time. So when you keep getting evaluated, they assume that you're stalling or giving them a line.
Right.
And in my case, I was seeing doctors. The doctors I saw were the head of the NHL Players Association for concussions and the head of the CFL, which maybe don't come much for down here. But they were credible doctors, very credible doctors. They weren't just some quack doctor down the street or my doctor that I've always had to know with. These were doctors of the highest order, and all I could do is go on what they were saying. It was a weird thing about concussions is that I would have found myself saying, and I would have gone back to, I would have said, I'm okay.
Right.
I remember, and look at how I worked for 3.5 weeks thinking I was okay. You think sometimes like, I'm okay because you can walk and you can talk. I don't know, even if when I did that interview with you guys, I don't remember what it was, but you can sort of come across like you're pretty coherent. But that's not the case. You don't remember what you're saying. I did that off the record with Michael Landsberg and had to answer all those things from Vince McMahon. All those months of pent up rage and frustration and anger. I had to answer those questions. I remember when I came home, I digressed about a 3-week period after that. It took so much out of me you start stuttering everywhere you go. You can't concentrate. You can't remember what anything is. You watch a shaving commercial on TV and you break down crying. It becomes and then you realize, like, okay, I'm not ready to go back and ready. I'm not working anybody. This is so real. And I was worried for at least 6-7 months that I was never going to get better.
How did you find out that you were actually going to be released? Through the mail, I believe?
Yeah, I got a letter from them. So mind you, they were kind enough to call my management up and tell them that they were sending me a letter that I'd get the next morning that was going to release me.
Whose decision do you think it was?
Well, obviously it had to be Siegel. I mean, I could go right to the top. I wasn't surprised.
Are you bitter towards the business or towards WCW management? Not the business.
No, not really. I think that they were really. I'm not bitter. I don't think it was like a ship that was sinking, and that was just like a TV that they throw overboard or something. It's like they didn't know what the hell they were doing. But they were trying to plug some holes, or I don't think they did right by me, that's for sure. And I think that they were a lot of ways the company that there was some nice people that worked there, and I don't really have any bad feelings towards anybody in particular, but I also know that they were a pretty stupid company.
Now, if you were still with WCW and with Vince buying the company, what do you think would have become of Bret Hart? Would you have stayed, or would you have asked for your release?
I would have tried to get my money. I mean, I would have, I don't know. That's a really tough question. I don't think I would have sold out my principles on, especially with what happened with Owen and all that. I probably would have just stepped down. But at the same time, I made a promise to myself before Montreal. I made a promise to myself before what happened with my brother. After all those van trips and all those blade jobs and all those broken bones, that the money that I had in my contract, I was going to get what I had deserved after all those years. It's like, I want what I'm supposed to get here, and I'm going to get it, and I'm going to go home. I'm going to be with my family. And I think I would have tried to the best of my ability to do that. But I also will say that I don't know that how many more years I would have wrestled. I don't know. I think I would have looked at it 1 year at a time. If I think right now with the sale, I don't know. I doubt very much that I would have ever worked for him again.
Will you actually ever be able to step in the ring again and actually work again, or no?
Never.
Never.
No.
Wow.
Maybe as a manager or something like that. I don't see that being a very dignified exit for me anyway.
TitleMatchNetwork.com